Hey, what's going on, guys? So the comic book movie news keeps coming. DC and Marvel keep dropping stuff left and right. And the way I felt about this before is Marvel kind of had that teaser floating around about Captain America 3 being about Civil War, and DC dropped their entire film slate, and people kept comparing who won that battle with that. And it's like, you know what, if you need to compare DC dropping an entire film slate against Marvel saying like, hey, we got this storyline that we're probably going to wind up doing, I feel Marvel already won that battle if that's the debate. And now today Marvel dropped a huge bomb and, in my opinion, just completely buried DC, and Marvel takes the cake with all of this now. So today Marvel dropped the remainder of their film slate schedule for Phase 3 in the cinematic universe, and we've already known that we're getting Ant-Man following Avengers Age of Ultron, and now it is officially confirmed. May 6th, 2016, it is going to be Captain America Civil War, and this is going to be amazing. We will have Steve Rogers Captain America up against Tony Stark Iron Man, and this is going to be so awesome. And they obviously cannot do the film on the same scale as the comic line because there are so many other superheroes in there and a lot of superheroes with secret identities. So, you know, I don't know how far they're going to do it, but they will find a way to make it work, and it's going to be awesome. And it is also confirmed that Black Panther is going to get his first on-screen debut in that film as well. And we know who's playing him already. It's going to be Chadwick Boseman. And I've only seen Chadwick Boseman in 42. He played Jackie Robinson, and he was phenomenal in that film. So perfect and excellent casting choice for Black Panther, who's also getting his own solo film, which we will talk about in a little bit. Coming in later in 2016 on November 4th is going to be Doctor Strange, and we've known that we're getting a Doctor Strange film. Benedict Cumberbatch is now playing Doctor Strange, which is amazing in my opinion. And they said before that they weren't going to focus on an origin story for Doctor Strange. This was going to kind of be, he's already existed, so I wonder how they're going to put that into play, if he's kind of known about the Avengers and all these events going on and just kind of stayed to the side and then he eventually gets intertwined. So it'd be interesting to see how they're going to handle that story, if they're actually going to do the origins now. I don't know. We'll see, but Doctor Strange is coming at the end of 2016, so I cannot wait for that as well. Coming up first in 2017 is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and it got bumped up to May 5th, and I cannot wait to see this film. Guardians of the Galaxy has become one of my favorite movies of all time. I absolutely loved everything about that film, and Marvel took a shot with that, and it worked and paid off beautifully for them, so now we're getting the sequel. And this film is going to be a very important part in Phase 3 because Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor are really the only two franchises for Marvel that are sitting out there right now that deal with all of these extra dimensions and intergalactic beings and all that. So coming up for what we know we're getting for the new Avengers films, this is going to be a huge important role for Phase 3. Coming on July 28th, 2017 is going to be Thor Ragnarok, and this film is going to be pivotal in Phase 3. You know, at the end of The Dark World, we saw Loki pretty much take over Asgard and appear as Odin, so Thor is back on Earth now. He's going to be fighting with the Avengers against Ultron, and while all of this is going on, Loki's going to be causing a lot of havoc back in Asgard. So this is said to take place immediately following the events of Age of Ultron. So obviously something's going to happen where Thor is going to realize what has gone on. He's going to go back to Asgard. Shit's going to get real with Loki, and it's going to be a huge battle. Now, this film is going to be so pivotal because if you remember in the first Thor, there's that little snippet of the Infinity Gauntlet sitting inside Asgard. That needs to get out of there and somehow get to Thanos. So Loki has got to get that to Thanos somehow, or Thanos has got to appear in Thor. Somehow they got to make that connection and get the Infinity Gauntlet out of Asgard. So this film is going to be huge and pivotal, and I cannot wait to see what I think is probably going to wind up being the last big battle between Thor and Loki. So super excited for the new Thor film. Closing out 2017 on November 3rd is when we're going to get the Black Panther standalone film. And like I said, Chadwick Boseman is playing Black Panther. I think that is a fantastic casting choice. We're going to first get introduced to his character in Captain America Civil War, and it said that his home area is going to be featured in Avengers Age of Ultron, which would make sense because that's where vibranium comes from. That is what Captain America's shield is made out of, and I would say that Ultron is going to forge himself in it, which is going to make him even more of a threat because there's that little clip in the trailer where Ultron is kind of sticking his hand out there and there's all that vibranium, I'm going to say, like rolling through his fingers. So I think he's going to forge himself in it. We're going to get a look at that world of Black Panther, and they're saying he's not going to be in the Avengers Age of Ultron, but we'll see. Regardless, Black Panther is going to be super badass, and I love the casting choice, so I cannot wait to see how they're going to do that. Moving over to 2018, on July 6th, we're going to get Captain Marvel, and this is going to be the Carol Danvers version of Captain Marvel. And I do not know a whole lot about Captain Marvel, but I feel like this is kind of Marvel's answer to DC coming out and saying they're going to do that standalone Wonder Woman film. I'm sure this film's already been in development and they've had it planned, but with DC saying that they're going to do Wonder Woman, Marvel needed an answer to have a female-led superhero film, and if they're not going to do Black Widow, they got to go with Captain Marvel for that. And this is kind of interesting because this film's coming out right before the next Avengers film, and I would hope that they're going to merge her in with the Avengers team for that, because that would be super badass. So we're going to get a Captain Marvel film, and I'm super psyched to see how they're going to handle it. And here's where Marvel made a huge splash and made me so happy. On May 4th, 2018, we're getting Avengers Infinity War Part 1, and then May 3rd, 2019, Avengers Infinity War Part 2. And this is awesome because that means they are filming these back to back. They're splitting it into 2 films to cover the entire story of the Infinity Gauntlet, and I think that is the best way to handle that, because you don't want to cram all these characters, and you've been building up Thanos, and they're going to keep building him up through Phase 3 leading up to these films. You can't just cram all that into a 2.5-hour movie and expect it to go good without it being way too bloated. Take your time, split it up into 2 to 2.5-hour films, and give us the amazing story we've been waiting for. So thank you, Marvel, for doing that. I am so excited for this. It's going to be amazing. And this is why Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and the third Thor film are going to be so pivotal in Phase 3, because in order to get this all together, they've only had, I think, 3 Infinity Gems actually out there in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So between the second Guardians film and I would imagine maybe in Doctor Strange and in the new Thor film, they got to get the gauntlet together. They got to get 6 gems on the gauntlet and somehow get this whole conflict introduced where Thanos is coming to Earth. So Phase 3 is going to be absolutely huge. I cannot wait for these 2 Avengers films. I'm stoked for Age of Ultron, and I already cannot wait to see how they're going to do the Infinity War now. This is so badass. And the last film they announced comes out November 2nd of 2018, and that's going to be the Inhumans. And I do not know a whole lot about the Inhumans. I have read them in the comic books. I know they're led by Black Bolt, who is a super powerful badass. But I would say this film came to be because of the success of Guardians of the Galaxy. Now that Marvel took a chance with that, and it ended up being one of the most successful films they've released, they can play in the sandbox a little bit, take some risk with some other properties. So I think that's why we're getting the Inhumans film, and I'm stoked to see it. I know a little bit about it, not enough, but I'll definitely read up on it to learn more, and probably reread some of the comic books I have featuring them just to get more affiliated with those characters. But holy cow, this has been a ridiculous release for Marvel today with all these films. See you later, DC. I'm excited for a lot of the DC stuff, but Marvel's got their ducks in a row already, and anything that comes out of their mouths now has just been pure gold. So I'm pumped about this. How do you guys feel about Phase 3? I cannot wait for all this stuff. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.